Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing everything. This book. Really love the cover and the way it was written, and I love how in the book it has like different things drawn out on it. It's about a girl who has this disease. I mean, everybody probably knows in the movie. The movie just came out last year. I haven't seen it. I was waiting. So I'll give a review for the movie if I eventually ever watch it. So the first thing I noticed about this book is all the characters are extremely diverse. There's a gay character, there's a Hispanic character, the main character is part Asian and part black, and I thought that was really cool. It doesn't happen much in books nowadays, or any books, unless you're searching for a certain style. There will be spoilers in this review. Sorry, I was looking at the book. So, this girl can't leave her house because she is very sick and everything could kill her. Everything and anything. She lives in a house with her mother. I don't know if she ever actually said her name. If she did, then I didn't notice it. And she has a nurse that comes in. Her name is Carla. The main character's name is Madeline. And she reads a lot because she can't leave the house. She's studying architecture, and I thought that was a great little thing to put in the book because there's not very many architects in books that I've read. And she has the same routine every day. She doesn't really change it up until this boy moves next door. His name is Ollie. And right from the get-go, you could tell there was something off with his family because, I don't know, just the way that they reacted to each other and talked. Turns out that his father was abusing both him, his sister, and his mother. And that was a little dark for this book, I thought. But it made the story go. It was almost not needed. Like, it could have gone in a completely different route with his family, and I think it would have been just as good, if not better. He and his sister bring over a bundt cake, and her mother, Madeline's mother, throws this gigantic fit saying that she can't have it in her house and all sorts of stuff. So, after that, Madeline and Ollie start standing by their windows because their windows face each other, and they start talking that way. By notes written on the window or little gestures with the bundt, because the bundt never actually disintegrated or anything or rotted. Makes you wonder what was in the bundt. Just want to say how pretty this is before I get too far, because it has all of the different points in the book from it. But anyway, got distracted. Soon enough, her and Ollie are messaging back and forth online, on email IM, and then Carla decides that Madeline and Ollie can meet. And this is the start of the whole down spiraling of this whole book. They meet for the first time and everything goes smooth, and then they wait a few more days to meet to make sure she didn't get sick or anything. And then sorry. Her and Ollie end up hanging out a little bit more. This is all when the mother's not there. And they ended up touching. And after that, they started kissing, and Madeline finally decides that she can't live in a bubble anymore. She can't stand it. She's done. She's keeping secrets from her mother. And so they as in Madeline, decide to run away, basically. She buys tickets to Hawaii, and she persuades Ollie to go with her. She tells him that she has these magical pills, and she didn't. Which there was a lot of lying in this book. It wouldn't have been, I don't think the story would have proceeded without all the lying, but me personally, I don't find that lying is easiest to do anything. It's easier just to tell the truth. And so, her and Ollie go to Hawaii, and they meet up his friend over there. Can't remember his name, but they talk and stuff, and then Ollie and Madeline end up having sex, which I find it was the most awkward sex scene I have ever read in my life. And I have read a lot of books. As soon as my bookshelves are here, I'll show you a bookshelf tour. But seriously, it was the most awkward sex scene I've ever read. And I was sitting there with my fiance, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want this to end. Please let it end. It went on for like 3 pages. It wasn't like the act of doing it, it was just the talk about it, and it was just not good. But then Madeline ends up getting really sick, and her mother comes and gets her. I guess her heart stopped, and then they started it back, and then she gets better. She's at home, and then the mother hires Carla back because she had fired her because she found out. And there's this doctor in Hawaii who sent Madeline an email saying, I don't think you have SCID, which is what she had or has. I can't remember the name of it, but that was the acronym for the disease she supposedly had. My toilet just flushed. That's a different video. So she confronts her mom, and she's like, do I have this? Do I really have this? And the mother's like, yes, of course, of course. And then she tells Carla, obviously, that what this doctor said, and Carla's like, I've been thinking this for a very long time. I actually think this doctor's right. We'll get a second opinion, send in these tests. And the night before that they were supposed to go see the doctor about all the tests, Madeline goes inside her mother's office, searches through everything because her mother's very meticulous and has paperwork for everything, every receipt, everything she's ever bought, every bill she's paid. And it turns out there was nothing in Madeline's file about having SCID. And her mother comes in, and she's like, what are you doing? Did you move the papers? They've got to be here. You're just overwhelmed, and a bunch of stuff. And Madeline's like, that's when I knew my mother was crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, I did know that the mother was lying the whole time because my friend Sarah, you've seen her, she watched the movie and told me, well, I asked her to tell me. She didn't purposely go out of her way to ruin the movie. I asked her because I had a feeling, and she was like, yeah, the mother's lying about the whole thing. And so I hated the mother throughout the whole book, and even though I was supposed to like her in the beginning, but I knew, so I didn't. Madeline ended up seeing the doctor the next day, and he's like, you've never had it. Your immune system is that of an infant because you've been locked in the house with air filters and all of these other things. And she goes home, and her mother's like, the doctors are wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then the doctor she was seeing, she had him prescribe the mother a psychiatrist. And before all this happened, Ollie, after she got sick, Ollie and his mother and his sister moved away and left the father. Another little round trip that didn't really need to happen. So she had stopped messaging Ollie because she's like, oh, love can kill me. This is not good. I need to stop messaging him. And so after she finds out that she's fine, she makes a plan to go see him. And she puts her favorite book on the bookstand, and she texts him and says, go to this bookstore, there's something waiting for you on this particular shelf. And then she comes out of hiding, and that was the end of the book. I hated the ending. I didn't like how the father was beating on his family, because that could have been a book on its own. It didn't really have much effect on the story, like at all. If it did, then it didn't hit me. I understand why the mother did it, and I'm not as mad at her anymore, but in the beginning I was. But without her, the story would have never happened. And it was a great story. I didn't expect to relate to the main character so much. She is a huge dreamer. She's always in books, and that's what I do. She never left the house. I hardly leave the house, so it's not the same thing, but it kind of is because I get lonely too. But other than that, I think it was a great book. I give it like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I really love how not the animations, but the book looks. Let me see if I can find another picture. Of course, now I'm not going to find one. See? I just love how it's all drawn in, and it's really like reading in somebody's head. Because there's not really chapters. They're like The White Room or Skid Row or Life is Short. And some of the chapters are literally short. But this is my first book review, so it's not the best. I will get better with time, and I will probably reread this one in a couple of years and do an update on how I feel about it. But overall, this was a good book. I haven't read a book start to finish, actually read it. I've listened to books in a couple months. But it was a good book to get me started back into reading again. And I will update you guys with a new book review, hopefully next week. Our time of October is almost over, which makes me very sad because I kind of like filming and uploading almost every day. I know I've missed a day, but I'm fixing that on November 1st. And yeah, it was fun. I'm going to try and get 4 videos out a week. Maybe 5. Probably not, but maybe 5. And so, please like and subscribe. If you have a different opinion about the book, you can add it below in the comments. Or if you just want to talk about the book, I'm always down to talk about a book. So yeah, I hope you have a really great day or night or evening whenever you're watching this, and goodbye.